Glad you can join us. You ready?
Me? I thought you were doing this.
Okay, why don't we start? Marley?
Good morning.
Morning.
I'm sure this town has been pitching the hell out of you, so I'm not gonna bother. But I will tell you that you'll never be #1, as long as your customer base is 82% male.
But the office is sort of like as discombobulated as she is. I mean, because she is sort of all over the place. It's just that she has a great mind and she sees things and she knows how to put things together and with a great sense of style. So.
And as she goes through her journey of coming to Earth herself by falling in love and letting her mom come into her life, it becomes more organized and calm. And we wanted to reflect that kind of inner journey of hers through the set.
Everyone that I've come in contact with is like, man, it must be fun working with Kate. And part of me is like, how do you know that? But the other part of me is like, you're right, it's really fun.
She's got that charisma that she smiles and it just lights up the room. You know, it's beautiful.
I look at Kate, she just got her own thing. She just got this vibe and she's sexy. She's smart and funny and confident and just very easy to be around.
I don't ever get the sense that she has that thing of a fear of, you know, loving, because she's very loving and generous and kind on set. But it's been a lot of fun working with her.
But most of the scenes that I enjoyed with her were the more intimate scenes, like our scene in the car together. She brings a lot to the table emotionally. I've never really discussed with her private relationships with family members and stuff, but it seems like she has a lot to draw on there, and so it was a lot of we had a lot of give and take that was unspoken, which was very rich for the characters.
When you talk to her and you're around her, she is always laughing. And it's one of the most beautiful things I've learned about her, that she was raised with laughter. And, you know, bringing laughter to the set is a gift for all of us, and then also for the character.
Of course, she's got a couple of people she grew up with that are pretty good too. So, I mean, she was raised by two of the best, which is kind of cool.
She's got a very easy way about her, and it's like Goldie just passed the torch, because I grew up watching Goldie. I still watch old Goldie, you know.
Yeah, I love working with Kate. She's, it's interesting. Well, she's so, I don't know if she's so Marley, but she's so full of light. And there's a bravery to her, I think, as a being, and a flexibility that seems so right for the character. And as an actor to actor, that's so much fun to work with someone who is like, let's try walking in, let's try it sitting down, let's try it hanging upside down. You know, I think she's game for anything.
She's a very organic actress. She's very much in the moment. And she does this wonderful thing that a lot of young actors don't do, is that as the scene progresses, she'll find things and make adjustments, and she's really there. She plays off of the other actors. She doesn't come in with something all planned out. She's in the moment. She's finding things as she's working, which I don't see terribly often. She's a real natural.
But she's just very easygoing and brings real naturalness to the process and to the role, and she's extremely easy to work with. You know, she doesn't throw up any walls or anything like that.
You know, she's great. I've known her for so long. It's just really nice to get to play with her finally, you know, because she's just, you know, she just wants to have a good time. You know, she doesn't mind improvising. You know, she's got on her hospital gown and her funny drawers. You know, I mean, she's just a good person. She's a good, natural girl, and, you know, and a sweetheart.
I play Julian Goldstein, and he's a doctor from Mexico that's doing some sort of post-residence here, and maybe having a professional life here.
He's who diagnoses me with my illness and cancer, and he then sort of goes through some of the process with me until he tells me that it's sort of out of his control, that he needs to sort of send it off into people who, bigger hands, basically.
He is my protege, so I oversee what he does, and he is the doctor that Kate Hudson's character comes to, and so I oversee her treatment.
He's the one that treats the character of Marley that Kate Hudson plays, and my character is the one that sort of attends to her her illness.
He's a closed-off person at the open of the story, but how to show that while still making him appealing.
I think part of it is that my character has never been able to be so vulnerable, and here's this man who's not only incredibly handsome, but is so stuck in his way. He's so straight, so against every type I've ever known, and yet he's so available for her to be vulnerable, and she has to, she has to sort of literally get naked in front of this man.
The character of Julian is so good for Marley because he just sets her slightly off balance, and it just keeps disrupting this sort of perfect sense of control I think she feels that she has over her life and her destiny, even though things are unraveling.
So she sort of wanders into the nightclub or the jazz club, and Julian's there, the doctor's there, and he sort of comes over. I had told him about this place, and he sort of comes over, and we sort of start our first talking, getting to know each other outside of the hospital, or the horrible fluorescent lights, as I say. And it's really a sweet scene, because you sort of get to see him comfortable in himself for the first time, that it's, who he is as Julian, not Dr. Goldstein. Right.
He's the opposite of everything she was looking for before. He's a good person. He's very kind. He's they're also he's not very funny, or she sort of has to teach him to be funny, and I think she's charmed by that, how kind of quite straight and serious he is.
He has this really offbeat sense of humor that initially she doesn't find funny at all, and I think he just undoes her in a way, and he keeps unhinging her more, and then she can finally open up.
Very strange, but he just gets pulled by this affection, and he needs it also.
We have this sort of funny flirtation, and I am, as my character is in this, very quite flirtatious, and we kind of have this thing, and we strangely start to fall in love with each other throughout the process.
They fall in love in a way whilst there being no future. So it's a very, perhaps a very pure love in that sense.
I'm scared this entire night's gonna go by and you're never gonna kiss me.
And the minute we saw them together, it was just electric.
We just wanted a great actor for that role.
He brings so much charm to it. He's such a wonderful actor. He's mysterious and so accessible at the same time. It's just kind of an honor to work with him.
And he's got this amazing joy for life, and these eyes that are so intense, right? And he has these incredible, eyes that you just sort of, you look at them and you're like, what is going on? And then they just soften, and the little tips of his eyes soften, and he starts to smile, and you're like, oh boy, oh please. And you know that he knows that when those little tips of those eyes soften, the girls just, swoon.
Well, he's a most delightful young man, and obviously very pretty. Not that it works for me, but I'm sure it does for all the young ladies, and I'm sure he's going to be a superstar.
And I had to really trust Gael that he was gauging it, and you know, because we shot so out of order, it was really fun to see him more relaxed and then go back to earlier mode. And but that probably was the hardest role to just, it was such a delicate line to tread.
Oh, well, I mean, he's just like a gift from heaven, right? When he wanted to do this, we pushed the production 3 months so that it would fit his schedule, and everybody said this is worth doing.
Kate brings out the humanity and the humor in him, and you needed a great actor to do that, and we found one.
The first time I read the script, I thought of Kathy for this role, and so we went to her, and I'm again so lucky that she said yes.
Nikki and I she called me and she goes, I just want you to know we got Kathy Bates, and I was like, yay! She's so perfect for it, and I was so excited to work with her.
Kathy Bates is the mother, was our first choice in casting. You never get your first choice.
That was amazing, because when Kathy Bates said she wanted to do the movie, I was like, it was like the part was written for Kathy.
I don't know who else could have done it, and thank God she read the script and liked it, and we were able to work it out, and it's like, wow.
It's a very difficult part she has, and she's one of America's greatest actresses, and she has this great capacity to make things very funny and very real at the same time.
She's a powerful woman, and you know, I just love what she's done with the role.
When I found out I was doing this, I thought, oh good, I get to sit back and just kind of watch Kathy Bates work.
She's amazing with filling up her space with activity and props, whatever she needs. She communicates it quickly.
Oh, by the way, your father called again. He said he was gonna do his best to make it out here, blah, blah, blah.
She cares deeply about her performance. She loves to rehearse. And
the problem I have with Kathy is I just find her so funny too, that it was fun to be able to kind of enjoy her performance and be in the scene at the same time. You also have to be up to speed with Kathy because you're working one of the greats, so you really be on that day.
Treat was amazing. You know, in our first conversation, we just talked forever, and it turns out that the character he was playing was very similar to his own father, so he really had a lot of material to mine.
The guy plays a very successful banker in New York City, and a bit of a control freak, so when he comes down to be with her, he tries to kind of take over, and that's where the trouble begins between us.
I think it was a good role for Treat because he always plays such sympathetic characters, and Jack clearly is not. He's a cold man and not in touch with his feelings at all, so it was good to see Treat in that kind of a character.
Nikki came in and understood the script, and she talked about it beautifully, and she was passionate. We literally met 47 different directors. She was the only person that really saw the movie in an interesting whole.
She's working on this because of the quality of the material, the quality of the people involved. And I think that it's in the right hands with Nikki, because sometimes when you're doing smaller budget projects, you have to compromise. And Nikki is so in tune that I'm confident that every choice that she makes is the right choice.
Like, I have so much faith in her. She's kind to everybody. She reaches out to everybody when she knows everybody's working so hard. And at the same time, she doesn't back down from the things that she really knows that she needs.
Even though she's very quiet when she talks to you, it's still very, with a firmness and with a sense of purpose that you know that she means business.
All right. Let's go for it.
Back to our original plan.
One of her real strengths as a director is she just lets you try lots of things, and she'll gently remind you what I think this scene is about, or what I think the story is about here, because you do lose your way sometimes, you know, because you're shooting out of order and whatnot. But she's very gentle, and she really lets you try it and see if it fits, and if it doesn't fit, then we throw it out, and it's not a crying scene. You know, it's a love, you know, loving scene and a fun scene, and we go from there.
She
has an idea of what she wants to see and what she wants to say. And you know, I'm just a piece of paper. Draw what you want and see if I can do it, you know. So I like her. I like this.
She's a very gentle and sensitive person, and so she's perfect for dealing with this, with those very subtle emotional moments and not letting something get too broad or too pushed.
And I think she has a real fundamental understanding of how she wants to tell the story. She has a very deep awareness of what's going on in every scene and what each character is going through and what each character is feeling.
She's very good at saying what she needs to say, and also very good at not saying what she doesn't need to say. You know, and that's a fine art.
But I knew what she was going for, had a lot of integrity.
She's doing something very different and interesting with this film so that it doesn't become a sort of soft-focus Lifetime movie. She also is in the scene with you. She's feeling it with you, and is crying off camera, so you feel you're sort of in it together. It's a very nice way to work.
And it's really rather lovely when you're working on a scene that's a bit emotional that she'll burst into tears as well, so it's really quite fun.
Nikki is warm, she's very giving. I mean, I really wanted to be there to make this work for her.
I enjoyed working with her a lot. She's very, very smart about material and wise about the human condition.
I just loved working for her. I hope I get to do it again.
I'm playing God in this film.
And a lot of people were afraid to play God because, you know, it's a big part.
I love all these God scenes with Whoopi, just because it's like stepping into a different movie for just a second. You know what I mean? It's like getting a perspective on the movie.
Obviously, in this movie, God is as you perceive God, as you bring your conception of God, you know, to God. And our character sees God as Whoopi Goldberg.
Well, I made God a pretty white dress with some very beautiful flowers on it.
There is not a more charismatic way we could have done this role and this part.
We wanted to kind of hit on why Whoopi would be Marley's God, but you don't really need to explain that because it's Whoopi Goldberg. She's many people's.
And Nikki wanted something more. She wanted something more magical. She wanted to know that we're not in a white void. We wanted to be in, you know, in the sort of cumulus clouds and, you know, have the change of light and color.
It's like going up into the clouds for a second. And that's what it feels like. So, and that's what it is.
Listen, with Kate and Whoopi Goldberg, you don't need anything.
Action, Kate.